Welcome back to the Scooter Rescue Project with our genuine Roughhouse 50 here. Now in our last videos we were focused all on the mechanicals, a little bit of the pretty stuff, getting those turn signals taken care of, but what we were focused on was getting that running and riding scooter. Now that we've got it, we're going to start what I'll call the beautification process, which is really just getting this cleaned up, trying to make things a little bit nicer if we decide to put this up for sale, or if I just want to take it to dinner. So what we're going to do today is hit it with a ceramic spray wax thing just to try to clean up this plastic a little bit after the bath. You know, it's not going to be perfect. The plastic's not the best thing in the world, but at least we can try to get some shine on it and hide any of the little swirls there. I don't need to clay bar my scooter. The next and the biggest thing I think for me is going to be some Mother's Back to Black. And we're just going to try to bring back this, faded leg shield here. We'll do some on this, maybe even try our airbox and our little tailpiece here. Just sort of get these faded grays to match something a little bit more black. You can see up here in the camera, and we'll look up close, there's spots where it's just faded, where something's dripped on it. And I want to make sure that when we put this scooter out, no matter what we're doing with it, its best foot is forward. So we'll get some of that Mother's Back to Black, and we're going to see just how well it works on this scooter. But let's go ahead, let's get up close and look at some of those spots. As we get up close here, you can see there's all these little spill spots where somebody spilled gas or oil or who knows what against the scooter. I don't think we're going to be able to do much with the floorboards. Maybe I can hit them with a little fine grit sandpaper and take some of that discoloration off. Same with our little metal pieces here. They're painted black on some other scooters, but what I'm really worried about is trying to get these spots to all even out across this. Maybe try to get this cleaned up a little bit. Certainly focus on getting this little tail section cleaned up because you can see where it hasn't faded from the sun, where it was covered by a license plate, and where it has. We'll also run to Ace Hardware. We'll get new hardware for this back end just so we can get those all matching nice and clean. But you can see, even with just that quick wash, the scooter's looking pretty nice. There I am, reflecting in it. Not too shabby. I do want to do something with the wheels, I think, get those cleaned up. Maybe do something with the exhaust. It's got this broken exhaust shroud bolt stuck in there. Maybe we can convince that to come out with something, and then we can bolt that exhaust shield back up and hide this pipe a little bit. Maybe we'll just hit it with a brush and see if we can't wire wheel some of this down and paint over it. But for now, we're going to focus on getting those plastics done, and then if we get a chance, let's see what we can do to the front wheel. With that, let's talk about what we've got for the project. We're going to be using Mother's Back to Black trim and plastic restorer, intended for all sort of exterior trims and all that good stuff that sits out in the sun and fades down. So we'll apply that according to the directions, which I believe is take one cloth, work it in, let it sit, and then wipe it off, and see if we can't disguise some of these spots here. We'll work our way from the edge of the floor all the way up to the bottom of our headset there, and then we'll try touching up here first. Once that's done and we've had a chance to see what it looks like, we'll jump ourselves back, we'll take care of our tail section here, and then we may even try to get down to the fender and the airbox like I mentioned earlier. With that done, we should at least have the scooter looking a little cleaner, a little sharper, and then we'll start talking about the wheels and the exhaust. Before we drop the bucket back in and put the seat on for the final time, first time in a long time I'll actually be using the bolts to hold it down, I just want to talk a little bit about what we've got here. This is the first sort of rescued scooter I picked up, and I did kind of one of the projects that made me want to do something for YouTube. And I'm really pleased with what we have here. Now sure, it was a $400 scooter. It's got some rough spots, right? There's some scuffs, there's some scratches, there's some discoloration. But I've got here a scooter that I am a grand total $650 into. For 650 American dollars, I have myself a running, riding, street legal, and quite fun little scooter. You know, I don't need a motorcycle license. Depending on the state you're in, you might not even need a title and registration. Here, technically I don't, but I like to have one. It's always good. And I've got a really beautiful and cool looking scooter. It looks a lot like the Yamaha Zuma. Parts are a little cheaper. There's a ton of them out there. And a 2-stroke 50cc is a pretty simple motor. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the bucket back in here. And I think we're going to take this out for one more ride, see how it goes, and then we'll give some thought to posting it for sale. Maybe I'll hit up my friends at the garage and see if anybody there is interested in picking themselves up a little 50cc scooter for them, their girlfriends, their wives, their kids, when they go camping. I can give you another dozen reasons why you should own one of these. But the fact that it puts a smile on my face every time I start it up, every time I ride it, you know, I just sit here and I can rev it up. And I've got a really neat little scooter. All right, I should stop blowing smoke at all the big motorcycles. But I've got a really fun, unique scooter here that anybody can get on and they can ride all they want. Make sure there's 2-stroke oil in it, make sure there's fuel in it, and check your tire pressure. That's about all this scooter needs. You guys can go out, you can find these on Facebook, on Craigslist, wherever you might look. And there's something out there. If you don't have a scooter already, if you're just thinking, oh, it might be kind of fun to have something to bop around on, I'll tell you, you can't go wrong. But look around. Maybe you'll find something out there that's cheap that just needs you to put a little bit of time, a little bit of love into it. So with that, let's go ahead and drop our bucket in here. right, there we go. We've got our Roughhouse 50 all buttoned up, nice and shiny. Got these beautiful gold wheels hanging out on it. It's a wonderful sunny day here in Tennessee, 70 degrees, everybody's out. I know I sure tried to get out on this, and I'll probably put a few more on it while I get it cleaned up and I wait for the paperwork to come in. Then we're gonna put this thing up for sale. Maybe somebody will find a good home for it. They can use it, they can love it, they can ride it as much as they want. I'd highly encourage you, if you buy it, put a 70cc kit on it. It's just gonna make it a real ripping little machine. I'm so impressed by not only the quality of the Roughhouse and the genuine products as a whole, but just how easy this thing is to work on. Now, I took some shortcuts. I just painted the wheels with the playing cards. You saw that previously. I cleaned up the plastics. I didn't fill any scratches or repaint it. You could certainly do that. Hell, you could order new plastics. They're pretty cheap. But in the end, for I think less than $800, we've got ourselves a beautiful running, riding 50cc scooter that'll take anybody wherever they want to go. It hauls me around, and I'm no small person. It'll haul somebody a little bit smaller than me around even faster. But with that, I want to say thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching this first sort of run of our scooter rescue projects. We've got this one all buttoned up. We're going to move ourselves onto that Buddy 50, and maybe we'll find something else new in the future here. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go take this thing out and put a few more miles on it.